You know, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell you that a heavy bomber is not going to be able to dive bomb.
Yeah, well, the rocket scientist is cooking up plans for the V2.
Yeah. But you know what I mean. The ground is hurtling up towards you. That's when the bomb drops.
Are the Germans up to something?
Maybe.
I can't work it out.
Yes.
But now they're up against the RAF, James.
How cool is this? Have they got the power and, more importantly, the numbers to be able to do what they need to do? Destroy the RAF?
Yeah. Welcome to Walking the Ground with me, Al Murray, and James Holland. And Jim, where are we?
Well, we're in the RAF Museum. I mean, look at that beast.
It doesn't get any better. Bombers do not get any better than the Avro Lancaster. Which is why we're here to talk about German bombers.
Yes.
That's right, because this is better than the German bombers.
Well, it is.
In the Battle of Britain.
But when you think about the early years of...
it's a James Holland yes, but.
yes, but no but. But when you think about those early months and days of the Second World War, you're thinking of, you know, and the conquest of Poland and Scandinavia and storming into the Low Countries. It's screaming dive bombers, isn't it, with Jericho trumpets. It's bombers coming over and smashing Warsaw and Rotterdam and all the rest of it. And it seems like the Luftwaffe are absolutely the spearhead of all those German triumphs.
And unstoppable. They're everywhere, they're unstoppable.
Yeah.
If you're a BEF soldier during the campaign of the fall of France, where is the RAF? Nowhere to be seen. There are German planes everywhere.
Well, there's lots of them actually.
No, but you
think that.
If you're the guy on the ground, that's what you think. And that's very much what the Luftwaffe represents at the start of the Battle of Britain, doesn't it?
Yes, the
Deadly,
Luftwaffe.
omnipresent.
Yes, absolutely. The spearhead, the kind of total sort of fearsome reputation. But it's there operating in tandem with the ground forces. It's what we would call a tactical air force, an air force that is operating to support ground operations.
And the Battle of Britain is a strategic campaign.
Yes, where an air force is operating under its own steam without any other component parts.
Yeah. So, is it up to it, and what's the gear it's got? Well, we're going to have a look, because the collection here, make no mistake, at the RAF Museum in Hendon is absolutely, I mean, the crew have been wandering around slack-jawed with wonder at the delights on offer, particularly in this building, and we're going to be doing a bit of slack-jawed gaping, aren't we, Jim?
Yes, we are. We absolutely are, but we're also going to be looking not just at these aircraft, but also the type of aircraft.
Yeah. You know, it's all about the types.
Well, it is, and different methodology and different strategy and all the rest of it.
Okay. To the Stuka?
Yeah.
It's the Stuka. We're going to look at the Stuka.
Look at that. A Junkers Ju-87 Stuka dive bomber.
Yes. And if there's one plane that really speaks to what the Germans are doing, what their aircraft are doing and what they're for, it's this.
Yeah.
It's a dive bomber, it's a tactical aircraft, isn't it?
Yes, and as if to prove the point, it's got a tank on it.
Because it's for assisting the guys on the ground in their operations. And the German system is that you're calling in what we call airstrikes now, you're calling in assistance from the air, and it's morale effect on the enemy.
Yeah.
And this is seen in Poland, and this is seen in the lowlands and in France.
It's the pin-up of the Blitzkrieg.
Yeah.
There's posters, you know, of Stukas sort of like that, diving down, the sort of sense of the air passing over it, screaming down. You can almost hear the Jericho trumpet.
Yeah, the Lärmgerät, the little siren it has in it.
Yes.
But, and the thing is, dive bombing actually, for that role, is entirely sensible, because everyone knows bombing's really difficult. It's hard to hit things accurately. Certainly from altitude, it's basically impossible, right? So what this is, you point the plane at the target, and you know how the parabola's going to work, and you drop the bomb on the thing you're aiming at. And
it's one of those things that on paper, it makes perfect sense, because the principle behind it is the closer you get to the target, the more accurate you'll be. The more accurate you are, the fewer you need.
Yeah.
The less bombs you need, the less planes you need. And everyone's a winner if you're the attacker.
It's before you can do smart bombs, it's your smart bomb alternative.
Yes, and there are many of them in 1940.
Yeah. But the thing is as a tactical aircraft, you know, this is incredibly effective. And what's interesting in the Battle of Britain, you know, it's very vulnerable to fighters, particularly when you can see it coming on RDF, on radar. Yeah. It's very, very vulnerable. You know, it comes across the channel slowly and sets itself up being shot down. If you're on a battlefield in Poland where there is no early warning system, or in France where there isn't either, or in the Netherlands, you know, these things pop up incredibly effective, hit their target.
Well, on a long
See-
column
yeah.
of troops or
Well,
trucks or whatever,
yeah.
this is absolutely perfect. On a fixed aircraft factory, for example, or munitions factory,
Yeah.
or an airfield where you've got no opposition at all,
Yeah.
they're absolutely fine. The problem with these is that they're doing this incredibly steep dive. That
Yeah.
you would dive down from about 6,000 feet, something
Yeah.
like that, at an 80-degree angle, and you dive down. The ground is hurtling up towards you. Then you apply the air brakes, and as you go like that, as you're then just pulling out,
Yeah.
that's when the bomb drops.
Yeah.
So you can't actually see it. So your aiming point is as you're going down.
Yeah.
Then you pull out, but at that moment you're pulling out, you're almost standing still in the air.
Yeah.
And that means you've got very little airspace because you're low, in which if anything goes wrong, and you're a very easy target because you're very slow. So if there's a Hurricane or a Spitfire hovering above you, you're toast. But that's the problem. This only works when you've got control of the airspace.
Well, this only works when you're using it for the thing it's designed for.
The shortcomings of the Stuka start to become apparent actually over Dunkirk, which is this humiliating defeat for the British and all the rest of it. But actually, there are some glimmers of hope if you're British, and one of them is the ineffectiveness of the bomber force to destroy the troops on the ground, but more so the ships as they're leaving Dunkirk. Hardly any get hit. Most of the losses at Dunkirk, the vast majority of them are on the beaches when the ships are static, and most of them are to little ships because they're being overwhelmed. They're 300 of them are lost to misadventure, which is basically too many men getting into them and then sinking. Okay, they're not to Stuka's bombs. But just to put this in perspective, so if you're a Stuka dive bomber and you are attacking a ship which has a length of say 250 meters, you've got 1.5 seconds in which to make your judgment. If you're going from one side to the other, you've got a quarter of a second. So your average destroyer is only about 120 meters in length. So that means you've got 3/4 of a second in which to make your judgment, and that's on the assumption that it's not moving. But of course, from 8,000 feet, 6,000 feet, it looks like a pencil and it's wiggling around all over the place, which is why almost no destroyers get hit by Stukas. If they do, it's a lucky shot.
But again, you're using the Stuka out of its role, and so.
But my point is that you're seeing in May 1940 some of the shortcomings of the Stuka, and also the fact that there are plenty of Spitfires and Hurricanes flying over Dunkirk and over the English Channel, and they're getting shot down in droves. And the thing is this sudden obsession with dive bombing. So the person who is really behind this is Ernst Udet, who is the procurement chief of the Luftwaffe. Absolutely, former ace from the First World War.
Like all of these guys.
And a barnstormer as well. He's a larger-than-life character, but he becomes absolutely obsessed with dive bombing. And his advancement comes just after General Wefer has been killed in a crash in 1936 or 37. I can't remember what year it was, but just at the point where Wefer is saying, no, what we need is a heavy, long-range bomber force. Udet comes in and goes, no, what we want is dive bombing.
I mean, the thing is, you can see the appeal of dive bombing if you're purely coming at this as a land power, as a tactical force, and it is really effective and in those battles. So you can see why they're stuck to it, why they're glued to it. And also Ernst Udet crashed, in fact, in one of the prototypes and still signed off on the plane as a valid type. So there's personality caught up in the commissioning here. There's no one from the Air Ministry who flew a Spitfire and said, well, we're going to have to stick with that. There's no equivalent in the British sector.
Yes, but the Stuka seems so good on paper when it's sort of tested and everything, and very effective in Spain, is for them to suddenly think, well, actually, maybe we should have dive bombing and everything. And what they've got in production just before the war begins is the Ju-88, which is the next generation Junkers bomber.
Which is a twin engine aircraft.
And it's originally conceived as a long-range, very fast twin-engine bomber, median bomber as it's called. And it has speeds of 320 miles an hour. It's like faster than a Hurricane. And then they go, maybe what we should do is give it dive bombing capabilities. And the good folk at Junkers do lots of teeth sucking and go, well, we can do that, but it's going to cost you. And it's going to take time. So they give the Junkers dive bombing capabilities. And the problem with that is it then reduces its speed to about 270, 280 miles an hour, which doesn't make it much faster than the other ones they've already got. So not only have they given the Junkers 88 dive bombing capabilities, they're also developing a heavy 4-engine bomber, the Heinkel 177, which they're also saying, guess what, maybe we should give this dive bombing capabilities. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell you that a heavy bomber is not going to be able to dive bomb.
Well, the rocket scientist is cooking up plans for the V2.
Yeah. But you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
You know, but the problem is they've gone down this strategy of dive bombing, and
Yeah.
they put all their eggs in that basket.
Yeah.
And what Battle of Britain is showing is that it's horses for courses, and that the dive bomb has a role, but it doesn't have a role in a strategic operation such as the Battle of Britain. And suddenly they haven't got any other answers. The only answers they've got is their existing mid-1930s bomber force, the Heinkel 111 and the Dornier 17, and that's what we're going to look at next.
We should look at those next. I mean, it is cool though. It looks
amazing.
It looks like a vulture.
Yeah, it does look like a vulture.
It looks like it's swooping down to. I mean,
and it's bigger than you think, isn't it? It's huge.
Yeah, a bit bigger than you think.
A single engine.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should go and have a look at Heinkel.
Let's look at the Heinkel. So we just finished our chat about and we were going to look at Heinkel, weren't we? But then the brilliant people here at Hendon said, actually, there's a feature you need to see, and it's here.
Yeah.
There's a window in the bottom of the aeroplane between the pilot's feet on the rudder, where he would look down and aim, pick his target.
Yeah, I think I've got it.
So you haven't got to hoon around looking over the wing or whatever.
It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. And it is full of innovations. I mean, there's an automatic pull-out system that means if the pilot blacks out or gets what they call target fixation, which is where you go, oh, I've got to hit it, and then you fly into it, which is a thing. The plane won't let you do that.
Yeah, I remember talking to a Stuka pilot, and I remember I'm saying to him, God, what was it like when you're diving down? And he said, it was pretty scary, because he said it might seem scary from the ground, but when you're in the pilot seat and you're flying this thing and the ground is hurtling up towards you, he said, trust me,
that isn't any fun either.
Not much.
Yeah.
You can understand it, can't you?
Yeah.
And I have to say that Nick, our brilliant director, is also very upset that we didn't mention that this looks like a flying swastika. That's, for him, it feels like the embodiment of the Nazis.
But I think this is because it's in so much newsreel, and of course on that newsreel they dub on the sound of the Lärmgerät, of the Jericho trumpet, because no one was filming with synced sound. No. And the fact that you would put that on to make that point is, I think, really, really interesting. And after all, so much of how the Nazis operate is it's conspicuous consumption, it's politics. War is politics by another means, so the war has to have that tinge of Nazism in it and the glamour. And
it's why they only show Panzers and half-tracks and Stukas and people on BMW motorbikes rather than horses and wagons.
But there's one thing that tells you that this plane is old-fashioned by the time this campaign starts.
Fixed undercarriage.
Fixed undercarriage, which means it can only go so fast.
Yeah.
It can only do so much. And that, every aircraft has compromises, but that is such a massive compromise.
Yeah.
And is why these are easy
with
meat.
Its little skirts.
Easy meat for Hurricanes and Spitfires.
Yeah. And why they're shot down in droves.
Yeah.
But it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. Right, we'll go and look at that Heinkel now.
Yeah.
Well, Jim.
Yes.
We said we'd go look at the Heinkel, and here it is.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Heinkel 111.
It's a Stug of bombers. It's got a lovely low profile.
Peculiar business. The Stuka's bigger than I remember it being, and this is smaller than I remember it being.
It's a medium bomber, isn't it? It's a twin-engine bomber.
Yeah, but lower. It's
yes.
The Mosquito sits much higher than this, doesn't she?
Well, maybe not, but because it's just
the
a sort
undercarriage. The undercarriage is sort of squat.
Yeah.
Squat and sort of.
But that dome is good, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the dome's the Battle of Britain film with the bloke with the ketchup in his goggles.
Yeah. But I mean, this first flew in February 1935.
Yeah.
Before the announcement of the Luftwaffe.
Yeah.
Designed as a civilian.
Are the Germans up to something?
Maybe.
I can't work it out.
But this is by 1940. This is 5 years old, which is quite old.
Well, and there've been great advances in intercept fighters.
Yeah.
For instance, so if the Spitfire panics the Germans into producing the ME-109, it's too late for this, isn't it?
Yeah, and it hasn't got much defence and hasn't got an awful lot of armour plate, a little bit.
Well, we're allowed. I mean, one of the really great things about coming is we are allowed to step over the red rope, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. So we can get under the wings. We can look at stuff. I mean, the one thing, of course, that we can't do.
Oh no, you can't ever get in these.
Never.
You're never allowed in them.
No,
that just doesn't happen.
No. Well, I mean, how cool is this?
This is incredible.
It's absolutely amazing, isn't it? This is something that hardly anyone gets to do.
Well, I mean, nobody really, and it's smaller on the inside. Unlike the TARDIS, It's much and
it's not that different from the inside of a Lancaster in terms of tin canness.
But we're sat above the bomb bay, right?
Yeah. So this has been adapted for Fallschirmjäger.
Yeah. Yes.
You can see all the straps on the.
Yeah. Yes. It's for paratroopers, but that's the payload.
Look at all this wiring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at this, another bicycle chain.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. But my point is, we were standing under the Lancaster a minute ago with its enormous bomb bay.
Yeah.
This plane as you said,
unrestored, completely original.
Yeah. You're not.
You know, it's got the cloth is fraying here, so I'm going to be very careful on that. But you know, it's just look at this. Gee. But this is the main bomber force. You know, this and the Dornier 17. This is oversize.
But this
payload of a ton.
This is what I'm driving at. You're not dropping many bombs, are you? And
well, a ton.
Yeah. So.
But it's not. You know, Lancaster could do 10 tons.
Yeah. Exactly. So. And obviously, the 111 is sort of pitched as an airliner, isn't it? In the mid 30s. That's what they're building, really.
Yeah. February 1935.
Yeah. Yeah.
The German Lufthansa announces its new civilian airliner, the Heinkel 111.
But
also soon adapted as a bomber.
You know, this is what they've got at the time, so they're using what they've got.
Yeah.
And these planes have been very effective over Warsaw and over Rotterdam, where they've done.
And Spain.
Yeah. And in Rotterdam, they bomb the city, and the government throws in the towel.
Yeah.
So that kind of bombing looks extremely effective, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And if you're going to strike airfields. You know, she's too slow, really, isn't she?
Too slow and just not enough payload. That's the point. You know, a ton of bombs isn't very much, really.
No.
You know, not when you're hitting soft soil.
No, but I mean, up front where the tomato ketchup stuff happens.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to?
Well, and also there's that very famous picture from the Blitz
of
the Heinkels over the Thames. You can see the silvery snaking Thames, can't you? And there it is, looking down on another line. So I'm going to go and be bomb aimer.
You're going to look at the Thames, are you?
Yeah, I'm going to go look at the Thames. Nick can take a picture of my backside. Getting in. But look at, oh my God, look at it. And you know, what I love about it is it has got all the German language and instructions on it, and the smell.
What is the smell?
Well, it's sort of oil and metal and rubber and fustiness and decayed canvas.
Yeah.
You know.
And
it's old machinery.
Yeah, and the failure of the Third Reich. Okay, I'm
going to package up this scent.
Third Reich failure.
Third Reich failure. You too can have the unique smell of the Third Reich fail.
It is always
look at this.
Yeah, look at him.
Yeah.
He's having the time of his life.
This one is for you, Londoners.
Yeah. Well, you're going nowhere without a pilot, mate. That's the simple truth.
But
now,
I'm looking down. I can see the twinkly, silvery snake of the Thames. I've got to say, though, I mean, you know, if no one was shooting at you, this would be brilliant. It's quite comfortable. And you've got the best view in the house.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing.
If no one was shooting at you. Yeah.
On the other hand...
Oh, and I'm not sitting on a parachute, so it's a really low bucket seat.
Look at your pedals, though.
I'm tossed down into the bucket seat. Yes, I'm not going to dare touch those.
Are you not?
No, I'm not, no.
You don't want to have a sensation of what it's like?
No, because I don't want the rudder to fall off, Jim. You know, this plane is... We've been in some planes in perfect restored condition in the last few days.
Yes.
But this isn't one of them. What you're seeing here, though, is a German cockpit with all the instruments laid out rather beautifully.
Yeah.
It's all there. It's all pretty sort of looks like it's well put together, which is of course German engineering after all. They're good at making planes. It's just this plane's too old.
Look at that.
And they're stuck with it. Is the other thing.
Yeah, and this is used right through to the end of the war.
Yeah.
Still making Heinkels in Oranienburg up in the north of Berlin, right at the end of the war. I've been to the factory there. Yeah. But it's amazing to be in here, isn't it?
It is.
But I think this is the problem that the Germans have got coming into the Battle of Britain, is they've got a bomber force which is old.
Yeah.
Because the new wave stuff, the Junkers 88s, aren't enough of them. There are a few, but not enough of them.
Yeah.
The Stukas very quickly get found out,
so
they're withdrawn, which really leaves you only two types, which is this and the Dornier 17, which is much of a muchness. These can fly full whack at about 270 miles an hour.
Yeah.
They can both take a similar payload of about a ton each. But, they're a throwback to an earlier age. and they badly need updating. And have they got the oomph? Have they got the power? And more importantly, the numbers to be able to do what they need to do, which is destroy airfields.
Well, and of course.
And destroy the RAF.
Yeah, and it's destroy the RAF, isn't it? And the thing is.
But you destroy the RAF by destroying airfields.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're thinking at the time.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they can't make their minds up. And the reason they can't make their minds up is because they haven't got the tools for the job that as they imagine the job to be. Because of course, one of the tools they haven't got is the intelligence they need, and the other tool they haven't got is the aircraft they need for the job. There.
So total size is about 4,500.
Yeah.
Actual size. So that means what you've got on paper. What you've actually got sort of operational is about 3,500 aircraft.
Yeah.
Well, that actually means that are able to fly on any, at the front is about 2,500. So it's going down and down and down because you need aircraft elsewhere. They can't all be operating against Britain.
Yeah.
So that means about 2,500 of which 1,200, 1,400 are bombers, of which a third are always going to be out of action because they're having tinkering and done and replaced tyres or damage or whatever. So you've only got about on any given day hundreds rather than thousands to destroy 138 airfields.
Yeah, that you know about. If you know about them,
you know about them. 40 fighter command airfields which they don't know about.
Yeah.
And they're scattered all over the place.
I mean, the thing is those numbers are the reality of the situation for the Luftwaffe, but the RAF are kind of as clueless about the Luftwaffe's strength as the...
Well, they overestimate it all the time.
Yeah.
They're constantly overestimating the strength of the Luftwaffe, but I would say when you're fighting a defensive battle,
that's the mistake to make.
Overestimating the strength of your enemy is not necessarily a bad thing. I would say underestimating the strength of your enemy, if you're Germany trying to attack fighter command, is a problem.
Yeah. That's horsehair, isn't it, in that?
Yeah,
in the thing you've been lying on. Truly incredible, but made for smaller people. But the point here is, the Germans have brought a knife to a gunfight. Right?
A bit of that going on, isn't there?
Because these are in themselves. The Heinkel's incredibly effective in Poland, and they're incredibly effective in the fall of France. And the Stuka, it's the summer 1940 over England where it has a bad time. It carries on in the war and incredibly effectively for the Luftwaffe in its designated role, but that's not what's going on here.
Well, the reason they've got this sort of sense of false confidence is because in Poland, in Scandinavia, in the Low Countries, in France, they haven't come up against an air defence system.
Yeah.
So they can rule the roost and they can decide when they're going to attack. And, if you're the Army of the Air, the French Army of the Air, you can take off in the morning and stooge around the sky and hope you bump into some Luftwaffe, but you have no control over that, really. Yeah. You don't know, because the Luftwaffe can choose what formations they send, when they send them, and in what strength. And chances are they're going to catch you on the ground if they come early or late afternoon or whatever. Yeah. And they're going to hit you on the ground and knock out your airfield because they can afford to fly in low because there isn't any air defence.
Over the border. And over the border.
Yeah.
There's the English Channel, after all.
Yes.
And when there's early warning, which is what the British have got, you can see them literally see them coming one way or another. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's the problem they face. And the truth is there isn't enough of them.
Yeah.
There's just not enough. They need 4,000 of these, not a few hundred.
Yeah. But also, German thinking has always been, because it's a Central European continental power, you get the war over really, really quickly.
Yes.
You get your result immediately.
Yeah.
You aren't laying down production of aircraft halfway through the following decade.
Yeah.
The idea is it's all about a knockout blow.
Yes.
And the Battle of Britain...
Your instrument by which you're doing that knockout blow is constantly being blunted, because if by the 24th of August your Stukas have gone...
Yeah.
And that's part of your bomber force. So that's a part of your bomber force which is just out of the battle, which means the mainstays have to do a lot more work.
Yeah, but also, this isn't a battle anyone anticipated fighting, apart from the British.
Yeah.
Although it's not quite the thing they've...
No, they're expecting them originally to... They're planning for them coming from Germany, now they're coming from Pas-de-Calais and Normandy.
But the battle that the RAF is going to fight resembles much more closely the battle they've expected to fight. The Germans never had any of this in mind, which is why they're bringing tactical types to a strategic battle that they're all suited to.
And this is, of course, is all going to affect the tactics, what the British are doing and what the German are doing, and it's the tactics that we're going to be looking at in our next film.
Yeah, absolutely. But RAF Hendon, the museum here, RAF Museum here, thank you so much for this incredible privileged access. And you've got to come here. If you even half like aeroplanes, and who half likes aeroplanes? Aeroplanes are cool. Come here, because this collection is peerless. It's incredible.
And if you can't get here, go to Cosford.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or, tell you what, do both.
You just visit the museums, for heaven's sake. Thanks for watching.